you guys have been waiting for this moment. Let's go through the list. On this list, there are some very interesting countries. There's Angola, there's Brazil itself, there's Cape Verde, there's Equatorial Guinea, there's Guinea-Bissau, there's Mozambique, Portugal, Sao Tome and Principe, and East Timor. Let me cut the chase and tell you straight away that to get one of these citizenships, it takes not more than 30 days. The requirements of this program are not defined by Europe or US. That's your passport shops. You want this as the layering, the perfect, the ultimate discrete layering solution for legal purposes, legal protection, and nothing wrong, then this is the option for you, which you get lightning fast. All right, so what is Latin America's or South America's number one citizenship? Is it Argentina? Nope, it's not Argentina, it's Brazil. A lot of people would do anything to get the Brazilian citizenship. Typically, what people resort to is crazy ideas like having a childbirth in Brazil, learning the language. Whether the wife agrees or not, they still want to have that baby in Brazil. And that's one of the biggest issues which a lot of families and a lot of expats face. The wife does not want to go to Brazil. The husband wants to push forward and it just doesn't land well. The second thing that people resort to is try to get married in Brazil or force the marriage, or let's say they try to show an adoption on paper. All those are crappy ideas if you're just doing it for citizenship. It's not a lasting solution. The other big struggle or the fear factor is how do you prove your language abilities to the Brazilian authorities? Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss a special way where you can still get the same end result, which is get South America's number one citizenship in a fast track manner. In a year, you can be eligible to file your application in Brazil. So it's going to be super interesting and anyone can do that. You who is watching can do this, right? Without getting married, without having childbirth, none of that crappy techniques. This is going to be a genuine, real technique, real fast, real quick. I'm going to discuss all the specifics, but before I deep dive into how this works, let me first explain why I feel Brazil is the number one citizenship in Latin America. There are two reasons. One is that, of course, the common sense one, it's a Mercosur citizenship. Second, it's a BRICS nationality. If you look at Argentina, yes, you have the Mercosur connection, but it's not a BRICS citizenship. Getting Brazil is like killing two birds with one stone. So it really takes care of both. Now, one might ask, why do I even need a BRICS citizenship? What does it even mean? Well, there's a lot of development, a lot of talks and a lot of associations that the BRICS is trying to get into. So in future, if BRICS grows and if they come up with some freedom of movement type of agreement or visa-free agreement, you can bet on that as a future option. So that's the second benefit. But the main benefit, I would highly recommend go and check the Portuguese nationality law and look at the benefits that a Brazilian can obtain. Plus the common language, Portuguese language, of course, it's a CPLP country. It's a no-brainer. So if one wants to target one citizenship in Latin America or South America, is it going to be Argentina? Is it going to be Brazil? Of course, it's a no-brainer. It's going to be Brazil. It takes care of a lot of situations. You can also, again, as I said, look at that very important powerful EU citizenship. Now, let me now open up, right? What are the advantages that we are talking about? The fast citizenship or the fast track, the 1 year fast track is just one thing. The second thing I'm going to talk about is also how do you waive that Portuguese language requirement both in Brazil as well as in Portugal. Now, before I deep dive into this video, one very important disclaimer, none of the information that I'm discussing regarding Portugal, Brazil is immigration advice, right? I would highly recommend before you make any changes, before you do anything, verify independently, read the nationality laws, and more importantly, go verify this information with an attorney and then take your steps. And at any point in time, you want to get started with any of the options that I'm presenting or talking about, you can always click the link, book a call, we can have the discussion and get you started with the option that's being discussed. Now let's deep dive a little in Brazil. If you look at the nationality law, there's a couple of things that it talks about. One is if you're a national coming from a Portuguese speaking country, you can fast track your naturalization. It does not distinguish or make a distinction between by birth citizenship or by naturalization type of citizenship. So a national is a national whether you've obtained it through birth or if you've obtained it later on. If you come from a Portuguese speaking country, meaning you have a nationality from a Portuguese speaking country, then you can fast track your naturalization in Brazil. The second very important factor here is that if you have that, you can also waive the language requirement in Brazil. So you're making your life super simple. Now, the first question you're going to ask me, what is a CPLP country, or what are the countries that have that Portuguese speaking connection that Brazil would accept? Let's go through the list. On this list, there are some very interesting countries. There's Angola, there's Brazil itself, there's Cape Verde, there's Equatorial Guinea, there's Guinea-Bissau, there's Mozambique, Portugal, Sao Tome and Principe, and East Timor. So those are the countries that it references. If you have a nationality from any of these countries, you can fast track your Brazil, you can waive your Brazil language requirement for naturalization. Now, there are two things here. How do you come from this country? How do you acquire this citizenship? How much time does it take? So let me cut the chase and tell you straight away that to get one of these citizenships, it takes not more than 30 days. There's a fast track exceptional program. There's a constitutional provision in one of these countries which says that if you do something for the development of the nation, you can obtain fast track nationality. Now, unfortunately, that nation does not want this to be branded as a CBI program. It does want to do exceptional naturalization. A lot of countries do have something called citizenship by exception. It's discretionary. Sometimes it's by recommendation or by invitation. Here, it's of course by recommendation. We do prefer our existing clients for this, but if you are interested and you want to discuss this, and if you feel that the Brazilian connection is important to you, you want to strike more powerful nationalities in future, you're interested, let's say, in EU, you want to be a Portuguese citizen in future or a Brazilian citizenship in future, then having one of these Portuguese speaking nationality in your arsenal is a powerful tool to unlock additional benefits in future. So let's come back to this program, right? So 30 days is the time frame. What is the cost? It's far cheaper than other CBI programs. It's almost half the price of the cheapest CBI program that's available out there. And the only one big hint that I can give you is that you don't have to invest more than 100K. It's less than that amount. So having said, I cannot define or specify how much, but it's less than 100K, which a lot of you guys have been waiting for this moment. You have been waiting for a program that's not a busted or a tainted program, that's private and discreet. If you want to learn about the privacy features of this program, you can check this video. I've talked about this in a lot of detail. It's a very important video. And there are other mechanisms, other things that are involved that you can do to further enhance your privacy if you're really looking for that private citizenship. Again, the documentation also, there's a lot of flexibility, right? They do everything correctly and legally, but you do have some discretion because this is, again, not a CBI. The requirements of this program are not defined by Europe or US. That's your passport shops there, right? So we don't want to discuss that. We don't want to get into those programs. Those are murky options. Some of them, at least, not all. Some are good, some are bad. Let's focus on this one, right? Let's talk positive stuff. Let's not talk negative stuff. So let's say in 30 days, you acquire one of the Portuguese speaking nationalities. You have this in your background. And let's say you have future plans in other countries. This obviously unlocks that, and that way you could potentially fast track your Brazilian nationality. Big disclaimer, always ensure you talk to an attorney before doing this program. How can we help? Well, we do this right from start to finish. If you're interested, you just click the link, book a call, understand what the program requirements are, and then we can expedite you. You can quickly get started, get your nationality, keep it in the background, and maybe then open up a ton of potential for you and your family for future. If you want to get more powerful nationalities around the world, and you might be curious as to what's included, what all do you get? You get a ton of stuff which no other CIP or let's say CBI gets you. You get a package with all the stuff that you need, proper constitutional provisions stamped and sealed by the government which authorizes this kind of citizenship. You do get a very powerful document which is the naturalization certificate which authorizes your passport. This is not a passport from the streets. Stay away from those illegal programs. This is a perfect government issued, government legal program. The next thing is you get your passport, which is a Portuguese passport, right? This is a Portuguese speaking country, so the passport, everything is written in Portuguese and English, so you're going to get a beautiful passport. I cannot disclose the color of the passport, unfortunately. You're also going to get something very unique which no other CBI ever provides you, is the police certificate, authenticated and attested. That's included in the package. We expedite several things in the package that are needed in order to then strike additional residencies. So remember, when I say discrete options, let's say you want to strike something private and you want to get residencies, you want this as the layering, the perfect, the ultimate discrete layering solution for legal purposes, legal protection, and nothing wrong, then this is the option for you, which you get lightning fast. Not only get protectionary advantages, but also unlock additional citizenships around the world. And I don't think this would be forever. Every good thing comes to an end. The people, the early movers, take advantage and move forward in life. So if you're one of those people who have been sitting on the fence waiting for something beautiful, this could be your opportunity. Again, this is your decision. It's up to you and your family. You can decide what's best for you. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to this channel so I can keep getting you valuable content. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and catch you in the next one.